Alright, before we start this video, last week we had the Carryology Bellroy Chimera Slingbag Contest giveaway. So for those of you who participated, stay to the end of the video because then I will announce the winner of that contest. Good morning everyone! Yesterday I posted the Carryology Bellroy collaboration Chimera Slingbag review, and there was a small little comment that I wanted to address before I start this Everyday Carry April 2024 video. And yeah, these morning times are for me actually good times to start these kind of vloggy types of reviews. So if you see me often with this fuel, this is just my breakfast. Don't worry, I'm not sponsored by them. I have been drinking this for at least I think at least 8 years, and I have been paying this for myself all of the time, so they don't sponsor me. I just like this. This is for me personally an easy way to start the day, my breakfast so to say, especially on days where I'm going to training. Today is boxing training. This has been really great. It doesn't taste that well. It has an acquired taste, to be quite honest. Now I'm used to it, obviously. This is the vanilla version. I always take 2 scoops, but I mix it either with coffee or I mix it with like Nescafe iced coffee powder, or in Germany there's also something that is called Karo Kaffee. It's kind of like I don't know what it actually is. It's a coffee powder without coffee and without caffeine. I put that in here as well, 2 teaspoons, just to give it some different kind of taste as well. As I said, I've been buying this. I can highly recommend it as an easy means to eat breakfast in the morning that has to go a little bit faster than making yourself a bread or something or whatever. So the comment was, and I just want to say this, I'm not singling out that person. I will blur the username, and I don't want to say that that user is wrong, but rather to kind of address this because I feel that many people have the same feeling, and I think that person is totally right to say that, because I also felt like that in the beginning, and I just want to address this and give you my thoughts about this. So the comment is, I just don't get the idea behind a sling bag. I never see these in New York City. It's like a giant fanny pack from the 80s, and I personally think they look terrible. And I do understand that person's comment totally. And as I said, I just want to kind of address this while I'm packing my bag to go to boxing class. So first and foremost, as I said, I agree with the impression or assessment that sling bags are essentially giant fanny packs. I totally agree with that. And also with the comment that the Chimera sling bag kind of looks like a man purse, and the bag that will be shown in this EDC April 2024 video will kind of underline that statement that sling bags sometimes look like man purses. So yeah, stick around for that bag that I will show you in just a minute. So totally fair point. Giant fanny packs or man purses. However, I feel that they have a very utilitarian purpose to them, and they are essentially really good tools for us bag enthusiasts or everyday carry enthusiasts. For me, I want to carry my camera or this Pocket 3. As you can see in the latest videos, this camera, this device is amazing. I love it because I can film wherever, can do different angles and shots, have always a good mic on here, although I still have to learn where to place it properly so I don't distort the sound. But this camera is amazing and gives me the ability to shoot wherever I am. Therefore, I want to carry it with me wherever I am. It is a fragile camera, but even if it wouldn't be fragile, it is bigger. Therefore, I want to carry a sling bag so I won't cramp it inside my pants pockets. Speaking of pants pockets, I also have a bigger phone. I don't want that phone in my pants pockets all of the time. So it is good to have, from again utilitarian standpoint, to have a sling bag with you to keep your pants pockets empty or carry your daily essentials. I get that there are many people who don't carry that much, but for people who want to carry their everyday carry, and it is a little bit more in terms of quantity or bigger in terms of maybe a camera, a sling bag is very good to have. Even All of my gear here is falling down. By the way, I always pack shin guards for Muay Thai training if I want to do sparring, and that's actually also a good note to have. I always bring this camera to sparring when I'm going to boxing or Muay Thai class, because I film all of the light sparring sessions to analyze what we have done. I'm still not the greatest in sparring. I feel that I'm more technical, but when it comes down to sparring, I still lack a lot of skill. And yeah, therefore I film it a lot, and we all go through the videos and kind of comment on what we have seen, what kind of mistakes we have. Therefore I always take my shin guards. These are by Twins. I love these shin guards. I actually bought the Twins gloves first in this gray, and I just wanted to have matching shin guards, to be quite honest. Great gloves. I always get 16-ounce gloves. Don't be a dick, actually. On one hand, your gym, or most gyms as far as I know, do not allow you to spar with less than 40 ounces. Sometimes gyms don't really look at that, and I don't like that. I don't like to spar with anyone with lesser weights. But as I said, don't be a dick. I like to have 16 ounces. I don't want to hurt my training partner, so I always get 16 ounces. They are heavier, of course, and you will feel it, but on the other hand, you train your muscles if they are a little bit heavier. And also, if you're a tiny person like I am, these being bigger also gives you a lot of coverage to guard up. So yeah, twin gloves, highly recommend them. So going back to the sling bag, as I said, I film the training sessions, the light sparring sessions, and I always want to carry my camera. Obviously, some of you will say, hey, why don't you put the camera inside your gym bag? This is a fragile camera. I prefer to have it in my sling bag instead of just chucking it in to my bag with all of this gear. With boxing pads, for instance, as well. I want to have them inside here. So even if you are not carrying a lot of everyday carry, a sling bag is good to have for long distance flights, or flights in general, because you can have your passport in there, phone, your maybe snacks when you are on a long distance flight. So all of your valuables are very close by. Obviously, again, some will comment, hey, put that in your backpack that you put underneath your seat. But then you might want to get to something quickly. And instead of like rummaging around underneath your seat or above your seat, you have some of your valuables close by. You don't need to worry if you fall asleep. Is someone maybe like rummaging around in the overhead compartment and maybe get to your bag? Those things are, for me at least, important. So for long distance flights, having a sling bag with you is essential for me to keep my valuables close by, but also stuff like my Anbernic RG35XX Plus, which still is a terrible name, have that close by if I want to entertain myself during the flight, right? Instead of having to stand up, go to the overhead compartment, grab what you need. And obviously when you're sitting down, you don't have to have the sling bag on your body, but you can kind of use a carabiner, for instance, and just hook it to the seat in front of you. It is still close by with your valuables to get to your stuff, but it's also not underneath the front seat. So that is why I think sling bags are a valuable tool that you shouldn't miss. So now I was babbling around way too much. Let's get to training, and then we talk about my everyday carry April 2024. Okay, before I go over the bag that I'm using in my everyday carry April 2024, let's talk about the first item that basically has reinvented the content that I'm making here on this channel. I don't know if this is already somewhat of a love letter to this item, but it is the DJI Pocket 3. If you have watched the last, I think, 3 or 4 videos, you might have noticed that the videos are a little bit different, a little bit more vloggy style, a little bit more outside like here. And that is all due to the fact that I carry this DJI Pocket 3 with me wherever I go. Therefore, I am able to film so so much more footage. All of the last videos, the last video about the Chimera Slingbag was actually 100% filmed with the DJI Pocket 3, and the video before I think 90%, and the video before that 80%. So I kind of increased the amount of shots I put into the videos with this camera, just because I am able to film wherever I am, pick the camera up, put it in my bag, whichever I might be carrying at the time, and then yeah, just film wherever I am. Plus being able to have this small little DJI mic too with me, having it wireless connected to that, means that I can stand wherever, a little bit further away or maybe a little bit closer, and the sound is always great. There is a little bit of a learning curve obviously with the camera because it is a gimbal, and the left mic does have 32-bit float recording, which means that it doesn't matter how loud or how quiet you speak, you always have somewhat of a raw quality of the sound. However, I rarely use the 32-bit float because for me these videos and the use of this camera is all about simplicity and fast turnaround. So I never use, or I rarely use, the 32-bit float, but rather record directly onto the video file, so I am able to shoot much more, cover more angles, cover more scenes, and have everything simple in one video file to edit. Obviously the benefit is that it is so small and I can carry it wherever I want and film here, like in my garden for instance. But more importantly, despite it being this small, it also has great image quality due to the 1-inch size CMOS sensor, which is bigger than in most phone cameras, but also has 10-bit D-Log, which makes it very comfortable and good to great in the post-processing. So I have a log file, which is a very flat file that gives me a lot of leeway to color grade it to my taste. Then, as I said, the audio quality is great with the left mic. It's always connected wirelessly, and therefore the mic is close to my mouth, but don't put it too close to your mouth because then you obviously have to level it down because it will distort. This happened to me a couple of times in my last videos. So yeah, figure out where you put it and take a look at the levels and record accordingly. Again, this has 32-bit float, but it is recorded on the left mic and therefore has a couple of steps that you have to do. You have to sync it up with the video file, and my goal with these videos is to be able to record quickly, easily, without too much post-processing afterwards, and therefore I'm able to do these kind of vlogs with a lot of coverage of the shots. Also, obviously, I'm holding the camera right now. It is a gimbal and therefore it is fairly stable, but you need to keep in mind this is also a very lightweight camera, so you still have to walk carefully. Use a little bit of the ninja walk to help the stabilization, because this is a great tool, but it's not a magic wand or anything that's always stable. But other than that, I don't think there are any too big of negatives with this camera. I really love this camera. The image quality is great. It is small to carry around. The whole setup with the lav mic is amazing. You will need to buy an ND filter if you want to film outside like I'm doing right now. So you kind of need to add a little bit to the cost. I would highly recommend to get the creator kit because it has this little tripod, so it is standing on the ground right now. It has the lav mic as mentioned before, and the wide angle lens. I don't really use the wide angle lens that much. It is good to have, but I never use it actually. Oh, and of course you get the small little battery bank grip that you can attach to the camera, but in my experience the battery holds up very long and I rarely use that battery extender or what it's called. So I would highly recommend the creator kit. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily use, or I don't use, for instance the bag, or as I said, the battery extender. I rarely use it. The wide angle lens, I don't use it that much either, but having the lav mic is such a big deal, and I think you should get the creator kit just for the Pocket 3 of course, but for the lav mic. Other than that, there is in my experience not that much of the negatives with this camera. There's a learning curve obviously because it is a gimbal. You kind of need to learn how you hold the gimbal to kind of move it around. It's not like a normal camera where you just point somewhere and then you film it. It rather you point point there, and then in order to stabilize the image, it moves slowly into the direction where you moved. So yeah, you kind of need to learn how to utilize this. But for me, other than the learning curve, how to use the gimbal, where to place the mic, there is no negative for me. I love this camera, I love this tool. This has elevated my content, in my humble opinion, because I do this kind of vlogs. I can film wherever I am without sacrificing too much of the image quality. So yeah, DJI Pocket 3 can highly recommend. So I just finished boxing training with a little bit of sparring, pad work and stuff like that. What I just wanted to mention is I would highly recommend to find a sport. I love martial arts, right? So I can always recommend doing martial arts, but I would always recommend find yourself a sport where you learn something and where you work with other people. You learn so much, and I find it much more satisfying than just going to the gym and just trying to lose weight. Once you learn something, it is much easier to switch your mind off from problems, and more importantly, you find so many new friends. Even if you're an introvert, if you are doing something where you have to learn, where you have to work with a training partner, you immediately have something to talk about. You know how awkward it can be when you are at a party and maybe you don't know anyone and you try to talk with someone, you try to find a topic to talk about and it's so superficial, and then you suddenly talk about the weather or what kind of work are you doing and blah blah blah. It's really awkward sometimes. I don't consider myself an introvert, but also not an extrovert, and I do not like to kind of be in groups because of these situations where you kind of try to find a topic. I'm really good at keeping a conversation going, but usually I'm good at asking questions and stuff like that, but it's not really a conversation or a dialogue. But if you're doing a sport where you have to learn something, you have immediately something that you can talk about with the other person, and then you can try to learn together, and it's much more fun and much more easier to find new friends. So if you are looking for new friends or new acquaintances, and maybe you move to a new city, find a sport where you learn stuff. And I feel that martial arts is a really good way to learn stuff, keep your mind off your problems, get to know new people. Obviously, and that is a question that many people ask, you do not have to do sparring. If you get to a new class and they put you into sparring right away, I would question the mindset of the trainer, to be quite honest, because if you're new, please do not spar. And I feel many people are kind of hesitant going to a martial arts gym because they think, oh, I get punched in the face. You do not get punched in the face if you get to the right gym. You learn the basics, you do pad work and stuff like that, and at some point you will do sparring, but you don't do it right away. And even if you are advanced, you don't have to do sparring. It's good, it's fun with the right people. I don't like sparring with people who punch me in the face, go full power all of the time. That's not what sparring, in my humble opinion, should be about. It should be about to learn stuff, to have a good time, honestly. If you want to get your mind free of problems, I don't think gym is the right thing, because I notice when I'm on a treadmill, I usually have the issue that I drift away and start thinking about the issues that I had the day before or during the day. When I'm at martial arts, I'm trying to learn something, I'm trying to understand stuff, I usually am able to switch off my head. And as I said, it's cool that you get to know other people. So if you can, try out martial arts. Why not? I like Muay Thai. If you think you're not good at kicking or stuff like that, try boxing. If you're comfortable with close quarters, I love BJJ, but I can see that BJJ might be a little bit intimidating for beginners at first to kind of be very close to other people. So yeah, maybe try boxing. I think you would like it. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the bag that I have in my everyday carry. And honestly, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm at a parking lot of a supermarket, and I actually intentionally parked a little bit away from the entrance of the supermarket, but people are still driving around and I feel a little bit weird. So let's do this quickly. The bag that I'm carrying is the Grams 28157 sling bag, and I love this sling sling bag, and as you can tell, this is probably the kind of sling bag the commenter kind of referred to, that it might look ugly, or some other commenter said sling bags are kind of like man purse, and this bag probably is very close to be considered a man purse. It is made out of high quality leather, which makes it a great bag for me personally when I'm going on a lunch date with my wife. For instance, right now we're going to a Turkish lunch place, which was really good actually. Or when I'm at a business meeting, you probably also have seen this bag in the Modern Dayfarer X-Pack Day in the Life of a Film Editor video. There I actually wore it when I went to the business meeting. So for me, the look and the style of this bag is really good when you have maybe a date, maybe a business meeting, and you want to a little bit elevate your outfit and look a little bit more professional. This is due to the fact this is made out of leather, and yeah, overall I think it looks very good, but again, some people might consider this a man purse. What's so cool about this bag is the way the shoulder strap is attached, which gives the positioning of the bag somewhat of a, you know, in those military bags where they have like the magazine pouch in front on their protective vest. This gives me the same kind of vibe due to the way this shoulder strap is connected here. It actually has this really good cobra buckle style connector up here, and it's not fairly big. As I said, I consider this a bag that I use for maybe going out on a date or a business meeting, so I don't want to carry that much besides my phone, this Pocket 3 and my wallet. To be fair, if I have the Pocket 3 in here, my Fold 5 phone won't fit inside as well, so essentially it's only there for my camera, my wallet, maybe lip balm and small little items. Oh, my Orbit key of course. So I always have to kind of decide between either carrying all of those items and decide between the Pocket 3 or my Fold 5 to be put inside here. If I have the Pocket 3 in here, I have the Fold 5 in my pants pockets, but all of the other items fit very well inside. Besides the main compartment, you have a small slot that is perfectly well sized for my Fold 5, then a zippered pocket for the wallet, the extra wallet or the double oak wallet that I have been using, and the main compartment is great for the Pocket 3. If I put the Fold 5 in the small slot, there's obviously plenty of space in the main compartment for other items. So again, it's a more of a fashion statement, this bag, to keep your pants pockets as empty as possible. Downside, this is leather. It doesn't say if it's actually waterproof or water resistant. It doesn't really say, but because it is leather, I probably wouldn't take it out in the rain. Then, because it is leather, it is also highly slippery. If you have a bomber jacket like I am wearing right now, it actually slips a little bit more than I'm comfortable with sometimes, so it slides to the side usually, so you have to kind of adjust it more often than on other sling bags, unfortunately. So that is the downside, but it's leather, right? And it's bound to be a little bit more slippery than other synthetic fabrics, and especially in combination with this bomber jacket, it will slip and slide. Other than that, it is very comfortable to carry. Again, high quality, very well made, but because it is leather, I'm not too comfortable with it in the rain. But your mileage may vary, or your opinion on that may vary if you want to take it out in the rain or not. The zipper is great. In the beginning it needed a little bit of a break-in time, but now it is actually very smooth. Yeah, I really like it. If you're looking for a sling bag that is suited for wearing like business attire or when you're going on a date, then I can highly recommend this Grams 28 sling bag. So one part of my everyday carry of this month is actually these Suunto earbuds, which have this so-called bone conducting technology. I think that's what it was called. With this, you actually do not have an earbud in your ear, which makes them the perfect headset or headphones for when you are outside walking with your dogs, because as you can see, there is a lot of traffic, like this motorcycle and stuff like that. And when I'm walking with my dog, I really want to know what's going on around me. These are actually intended or suggested for anyone who's actually jogging and wants to stay safe and hear the surroundings while jogging. And obviously for me, as a person who walks his this dog, this is actually the perfect headphone because it does not isolate me from my surroundings. This is due to the fact that, as I said, is bone conducting technology. To kind of explain it, or in a simplified way, it's attached, or it is laying on top of your bone next to your ear, and I think it either vibrates your bone of your skull or your inner ear. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but in essence it kind of vibrates or uses your head as a means of creating the sound. Therefore your ear is actually free and you can hear what's going on around you while you hear whatever is happening. The only downside is the sound quality obviously isn't as great as with regular earbuds or headphones, of course, but I think when you're jogging or when you're walking your dog, safety is more important, at least for me, and therefore I like this technology. Usually when I'm walking with my regular earbuds, I only have one side in my ear, and with this I basically hear on both ears while still being able to hear what's going on around me if there is a car coming or whatever. In the previous recording I wasn't wearing my glasses and I actually was hoping that I could use these headphones with glasses, but obviously these headphones are intended with runners in mind. So when you're running, or at least when I'm running, I'm not wearing my glasses. So when you're wearing the Suunto wings, they are supposed to sit on your ear and be there quite close to create lots of contact area for the headsets to work with your bone structure, right? It's bone conducting technology. And then your glasses sit on top of the headset and are much more prone to slide down, and that you're probably not used to it, that your glasses are sliding down that much. So that is definitely a trade-off, and therefore I would say if you're wearing glasses, yeah, probably consider some other headphones instead of the Suunto wings, to be quite honest. So in conclusion, the Suunto wing bone conducting headphones, which actually come with this charging cradle that has also a battery inside, so when you attach the headphones to this charging cradle, you actually charge up the headphones a little bit. Also, the charging cradle has a USB-C connector, which the headphones have not. You can attach like a proprietary cable to it if you don't want to carry around this charging cradle, but it is actually not that big of a deal to carry this around, but still something that I wanted to mention. So in conclusion, I think this technology, especially if you are a runner or if you're walking with your dog and you want to hear your surroundings just to keep safe because there are cars and whatnot around you, this technology and the Suunto wings are amazing. They have also for runners these little lights, so it lights up in the back. I did not use this because it was just a little bit too fiddly for my taste. But that being said, the technology and the way the bone conducting system works to keep your ears empty is amazing. However, if you're wearing glasses like I am, not the best on a day-to-day basis, I would say. So if you're not wearing glasses and you want to be aware of your surroundings, then this technology is amazing. And yeah, they are comfortable to wear, they are water resistant. So yeah, from that perspective alone, I can highly recommend these. Obviously, if you're an audiophile, not necessarily for you, because obviously the sound is not as good as regular headphones, but that's not what these are all about. These are all about safety and being aware of your surroundings. So with that in mind, for joggers, for anyone walking outside with your dog, whatever, amazing. Really like these actually, but yeah, can't wear them because of my glasses. Alright, the next item in my everyday carry is obviously my wallet. This is the double oak wallet. Many of you who have been watching my videos in the past, I always use the extra wallet and I have this with me just for comparison. The double oak wallet has not dethroned the extra wallet as my favorite everyday carry wallet, and I will get to that in just a second. The double oak wallet is amazing. I really wish this would be my my next favorite wallet. But yeah, let me go over the positives first. Just like the extra wallet, it has this mechanism where you push a little button and then the cards fan out. And obviously I usually have my credit card and ATM card in here, but for privacy reasons I put in the double oak nondescript plastic cards in here. You can fit 7 cards in here, but I only kept 6 cards in there because any card, for instance credit cards with raised letters and numbers, you should count them as 2 cards basically. So I always had 6 cards in here, but you can fit 7 cards overall inside this cool little aluminium casing with the small button to fan out the cards. What's cool about this mechanism is you actually can lock the cards and you push it up. There is a small little hinge up here that prevents all of the cards from kind of falling out if you shake it too much. That being said, the extra wallet doesn't have that, and obviously you can, with a lot of force, you can kind of shake them out, but it doesn't happen. And how many times do you actually shake your wallet to kind of throw out your card? So the security button is good to have, but it's not really necessary. The aluminium encasing is inside this leather enclosure, which is amazingly good leather. It's really good, which is actually why I would have loved this to be my new favorite wallet. You can take out the aluminium casing to use it on a phone with MagSafe, for instance, or attach other MagSafe items, and I will get to that in just a second because it's actually negative for me. I never took it out because the leather enclosure is actually quite firm on there, and I didn't want to kind of make it a little bit too loose by taking it out and then putting it in. You have 1 slot outside, just like on the extra wallet, but opposed to the extra wallet, you just have 1 more card slot here in the inside. However, you have a slot here that is closed and just openable from one side, which is great for bills. This is much better than on the extra wallet where you have this elastic band. Another reason why I really wished that this would have been my favorite wallet. Then there is a magnet in here with the flap, so this does not open by itself like on the extra where you can kind of hold it and it's always open. So there's a magnet that keeps the flap in place. Oh, so amazing feature. I really wished this would have been my new everyday carry favorite wallet. So again, build quality, amazing. Leather, amazing. Compartments, just 1 slot here, 1 here, but a slot for bills, amazing. Really good. The magnet to hold the flap in place, also great feature. The button is cool. I love the mechanism, but I kind of wish there would be just like a spring, you know, on the extra. You push the button and then it kind of like springs back in place. Here it goes back in place once you push in the cards. Not a big deal, just a small little detail. The lock button is good to have, but it's not necessary. So why do I not want to use this wallet in the future? Let me get out my metal knife. This is the Civivi Banter, also in my everyday carry. You have seen it already in other videos, but this is also in my everyday carry. Only at home. Not when you're somewhere else, because it's not street legal. So, but I have it with me at the moment just to show it. So let me take out the card. And yeah, there is a very strong magnet inside the aluminum case. And sorry, I had to interrupt the video because my trainer just came and we went back to training. So where was I? I was demonstrating the strong magnet. As you can see here, I'm putting the metal knife inside the wallet, and there is a very strong magnet that holds the wallet basically in place if you want to attach it to your iPhone or a MagSafe compatible case. I know that I am one of the few people who actually worry about this because I am an 80s kid. I grew up with floppy disks. Those are the big, I think 520 and up to 1.2 megabyte data disk that were magnetic, and you were not supposed to put them close to anything magnetized because your data would be deleted. The same holds true with most credit cards and most ATM cards. And I know, I already see the comments. Many of you have said, hey, that is not an issue anymore. You don't need to worry because most cards use the chip. No one uses the magnetic strip, and your data on the card won't be compromised with that magnet. However, I believe if I have this wallet in my pocket, the cards in here for many weeks, probably many months, there will be a magnet. Don't matter how strong or how weak it is. It is really strong. You saw how it held to the metal knife. If the credit card is exposed to that for many weeks or months at the same time, I just think that the data on that magnetic strip will be compromised. And yes, probably I won't use any means of reader in a restaurant or whatever that actually uses the magnetic strip or the data on that strip. But there will come a time, maybe I am in the countryside, an old gas station won't take my phone to pay, won't take my ATM card or the chip on the ATM card, and wants to swipe it through something, this magnetic reader, and then it won't work. What then? Therefore, I know I'm overly cautious about that and overly suspicious, is that the word? With magnets being that close to a cards or to my means of payment. But I just do not feel comfortable if my credit card, or more importantly, the magnetic strip of my ATM or credit card is that long exposed to such a strong magnet over weeks or months. Therefore, this wallet won't be in my everyday carry, unfortunately. I was thinking if I could maybe get rid of the magnet, but I wasn't able to actually do that yet. So for me personally, I would not want to use this on a daily basis just because I'm overly cautious about magnets and my credit card or ATM card. That being said, I know many of you think that is a not valid point because, as I said, not many people use the magnetic strip. Most of the time it's the chip on that won't be affected by the magnet, or most people don't care because, as far as I can tell, many people use magnetic wallets on their phone on MagSafe. Therefore, I think I'm probably the only one left who thinks that magnets and wallets are a big deal. For me, it's a big deal. I don't want it, but I know that many people do not care. So for you, this might be the perfect wallet. By the way, I put affiliate links in the description below, so please, if you consider buying one of these items that I mentioned below, those are affiliate links. Use those. You won't pay more, but you will support the channel with a small kickback of that sale, and it is very highly appreciated, especially in this time of economy. So please use the affiliate links if you want to support the channel. You won't pay more. So I would say, if you do not care about that magnet, this wallet is amazing. I really think it is well made. The leather, it smells amazing, it looks amazing, it will patina very good, the mechanism is good, the slots are great. One thing to note is it is not as tall as the extra wallet, but it is slightly wider and slightly thicker. So there's definitely something that you might need to keep in mind. I noticed that in some sling bags, it occupies a little bit more space, despite it just being some millimeters thicker. It is also a little bit heavier, but I think it is still more minimal than most bifold wallets that I have seen with some people. Highly recommend this wallet, especially if you don't mind the magnets. I do mind, so I will go back to the extra wallet. Alright, now it's time for the moment that some of you probably have been waiting for. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, last week there was the Carryology Bellroy Chimera Slingbag Contest giveaway, and that's a lot of words. So without further ado, let's find the winner of this contest. And for those of you who don't know, I really wanted to make sure that the bag goes to a bag enthusiast and someone who actually likes my content, and not just someone who Googles, YouTube, checks, oh, is there a giveaway, and then just enters a comment. I had this kind of scavenger hunt with 10 questions about my content, about the podcast, and what I've been talking about in all of the content that I make. And honestly, I was amazed by all of the people actually being able to answer so many of those questions. I intentionally made that a little bit harder. As I said, I wanted to make sure this bag doesn't go to a scalper or anything, but someone who really wants the bag and someone who enjoys my content. So seeing so many people answering so many of those questions correctly, and not only correctly, but many of you answered all of them, and I was like blown away that you actually listen to the podcast, that you watch my content that thoroughly. To be able to answer those questions is amazing, and I thank you so much for all of your support, for listening to the podcast, watching my videos, participating in this contest, and yeah, I'm blown away. Thank you so much. And to be able to be entered in the contest, I said you have to answer at least 5 questions of those 10 questions correctly to enter one of your names in the spreadsheet. Any further correct answer will be counted as one more line in that spreadsheet. And as you know, every spreadsheet has these line numbers. So if you had, for instance, 10 questions correctly, then 5 count as 1, and then 5 more are additional lines in that spreadsheet. So you would occupy 6 lines. So in that spreadsheet, there are 243 lines occupied, which tells you how many people have entered and how many questions have been answered correctly. Again, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. And I already picked the winner with a random number generator on Google before I started the recording, because it would have taken too long. And the winner is in line 157. And the winner is Raymond. Congratulations in winning the Carryology Bellroy Chimera Slingbag. I will contact you via email so that you can give me the shipping details, and I will pass along those shipping details to Bellroy directly, who will send out the bag to you as soon as possible. Again, congratulations to Raymond for winning the bag, and to everyone else, thank you so much for participating and watching all of my content. Congratulations again to the winner of the Chimera Slingbag. And now to kind of end this video in summary, the Grams 28 157 Essential Sling, amazing sling bag. Yes, it looks like a man purse, but I feel that it is a great sling bag if you want to kind of elevate your outfit for a business meeting or for a date, for instance. And I feel that nowadays it's totally fine for men to wear a sling bag. So go for it. If you want a good looking sling bag, the Grams 28 157 Essential Sling is really good. Next up, the double oak wallet. I love that wallet, but as I mentioned, there is a very strong, or what's the word? High pulling or very strong magnet inside that kind of prevents me from actually wanting to use it, but your mileage might vary. If you don't mind the magnet, go for it. I really like that wallet. Next up, the Suunto Wing, great little bone conducting headset. I really think that technology is amazing, really good. Not for audiophiles, but if you want to stay safe outside, amazing headphones. Not good if you have glasses like I do, but for anyone else, really good headphones. And then obviously the camera that I'm recording on right now, the DJI Pocket 3. I love this camera. It elevates my content. I can film wherever I am. The image quality is great. Highly recommend this camera. If you are a content creator, if you want to vlog, great camera. Mic is good, image quality is good with the 10-bit D-Log, and yeah, highly recommend that. All of the other small items that I always mention, my Orbit key, my CVV banter, the extra wallet, all of the items mentioned in this video are linked below, and you would be really awesome if you consider buying one of those items. Please use the affiliate links below, because you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale, and if you do so, your support is highly appreciated. And other than that, if you have any more questions, comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, click the like button, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell icon so you won't miss next videos. Also check out my Instagram, second channel and podcast at You Know The Bow. Stay safe and healthy everyone, and I'll see you in the next videos. Thank you very much.